Hello, 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 everyone. I am Ashley Northington, and I am fired up about what I'm about to share with you guys tonight. I know we've got a few people who are joining this webinar live, and I want to give them just a few more moments to hop on with us. So just bear with me. I'm gonna get the presentation up so that we can see what we're going to learn today. Uh-oh. We might be having a little tech rate when it's not that. What in the world? Why is this not working? Okay, so you guys can see my screen now. And my presentation disappeared. That means PowerPoint, because I'm the PowerPoint queen, I have to say, that means PowerPoint has decided it wants to not participate in what I'm doing today. But that's okay. We'll make it work. So you guys can see all of this stuff in the background. No worries. It's just thinking about it. It's thinking about coming up. I'm not sure why. Everything worked perfectly just a few moments ago. And then when I wanted to broadcast live, then everything starts to go haywire. That is par for the course. So I won't be upset about it if you won't. Oh my gosh. Hello, everyone. I see we've had a couple of more people join the call. I'm having just a slight technical difficulty. I had everything set up and ready to go, and then my presentation just crashed. But if you just bear with me just a few moments, we're going to get through it, and we're going to learn a lot of great content today. I'm really excited to share with you guys how I can turn a social media like into a qualified sales lead. That's a living, breathing, warm body with a heartbeat that has money to support your business. And so I know a lot of people ask me tons of questions about that. A lot of people have, a lot of interest in how they can actually monetize social. About adding dollars and cents to your bottom line, as well as increasing your brand awareness. So we are going to learn how to do just that on social media. So let me pull this up. If it would turn on. I don't know what is going on. Get in gear, computer. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't do this on this one. This is weird. Can everyone see my screen? My goodness. Well, you know what? That won't work. That apparently won't work. So I'm just going to tell you the information. I'm not sure what's actually happening with my computer today. I'm not sure. I've never had such difficulties. But I'm just going to give you the information. And I tell you what I'll do is I'll send it to you via email so that you have it. So first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Ashley Northington, of course. I run Denor Brands and Public Relations, which is a public relations, marketing, and brand strategy firm in Nashville, Tennessee. And we work with clients here locally in Nashville and in other parts of the country. We are really excited about helping people increase their visibility and add value to their bottom line. One of the things that I'm really, really proud of is I help people tell their stories. Sometimes traditional media won't tell their story. Sometimes, they may not be able to afford to spend tons of money on fancy advertisements. But what I am proud to say that I'm able to do is to help businesses, especially small businesses, learn how to tell their story in an authentic way so that it reaches their target audience in a way that's meaningful. And when I say meaningful, I always mean in a way that's going to help you earn money and in a way that's going to help you build and maintain deep relationships. I've been in business just over 5 years, and I'm really excited about what the future brings. I'm really excited about being in Nashville. I started this business because I wanted to help people find a way to communicate better. I spent many years as a journalist and as a PR flack, if you want to call it that. Watching so many people who had great intentions, who had great visions fail. And they failed not because they didn't have a lot going on or not because they didn't mean well, but they failed because they didn't know how to communicate to their target audience in a way that mattered to them. They didn't know how to communicate in a way to get people to rally around them and support them. And so what I have aimed to do with this company is sort of just close that gap and help more people find a better way to communicate. So what we're going to learn today is we're going to learn the process of turning a like into a qualified sales lead. And what that means is, I know a lot of times you guys probably post things on your social media pages and people like it, or they might not like it. Or people might leave a comment, but that doesn't necessarily translate into a sale. And so what I want to take you through is the 12-step process that I use for myself in my own business and with my clients to teach you how you can turn that social media activity into activity that's going to add value to your bottom line, that's going to give you dollars and give you some cents. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to try one more time, I think just because I'm hard-headed, to bring up this this PowerPoint because I really think that it adds the value that we need. So I'm gonna try to pull it up once more. So bear with me. Bear with me. Because I really, really, really want you guys to see it. After we go through this 12-step process, we're going to learn about 4 more opportunities for you and I to connect. And then we're going to open it up for questions. And then if there is anything that you'd like to ask me, you can please, feel free to ask me those questions at that time. There's a chat box to your right where you can type in some information and just ask me a question and I'll be sure to answer it. I think we're going to have success this time with this presentation. I think we're going to, oh my goodness, I think it's going to happen for us. If I could be a little bit more patient. This is really driving me nuts. Yeah, it's just not gonna work. So I'll just share with you the information. So the first thing I'd like to tell you is that the marketing game has changed. We know that marketing is the underpinning of every single business. Marketing is how we reach our audience. It's how we create sales. But in the past, marketing has been all about renting media. And what that means is, when I say renting media, I mean renting space for your brand to be present. That is purchasing a TV commercial or a radio spot, or that is buying some billboard or other type of advertisement, maybe showing up at a trade show. So it's shifting. There's a huge shift occurring in the space from renting media to owning media. And when I'm talking about owning media, what I mean is that there is this shift to get you to have a very strong presence on the only media that you own. And that's not your social media channels, because you don't actually own Facebook. But we're going to talk about how you leverage that, those platforms like Facebook or Pinterest or Instagram, to owning the media, which is your website. So we're going to talk about today how we've had this shift where all you do is purchase ads, and those ads may or may not have told you how well, you reached your target demographic, to a shift where you actually own the media, which is your website, where you can track what you're doing. So when we talk about this shift from renting media to owning media, it's important to know that it's all about creating high quality, highly visible content. And what I mean by that is creating, it could be a compelling video or blog series, or it could be, a great email campaign. But it's all about pinpointing where your target audience is and where they congregate online. And the key is, once you figure out where they are online, especially on social media, you leverage that platform so that they can discover you and be led to your owned media, which is your website. So what you should be doing, or what you should be thinking about, is to create high quality content outside of social media that you can share on your social media platforms to attract your target audience. That's what this whole process is about. So let's kind of talk more about the purpose of this great content that you're going to produce. Every person or potential person that you could possibly meet, we're going to call those folks strangers. Okay, so what you should be doing, what you should be doing with your content is transforming people from strangers to promoters. And what that looks like is, so you create this awesome blog. Okay, you publish that blog on your website. You broadcast that content all over social media. You get people to visit your website. So now we've got a stranger that was out on social media. They've discovered your blog. They go to your website to get that blog. And once they get that blog content on your website, then what you can do a call to action so that they can fill out some sort of form, or there should be some way for you to follow up with them. Once you have a way to follow up with them, you have a sales lead. Then it's your job to nurture that lead so that they become a customer. Then after they become a customer, the idea is to make them be in awe of you, make them fall in love with you so that they become promoters of your work. So we do that with content. So we start out by dangling this great content to all these strangers in the online market space, beefing up that content consistently so that those strangers become visitors, so that we turn those visitors into leads, those leads into customers, and then those customers in promoters, to promoters. But in order to do that, there's one thing that we have to remember, and that is that social media is not a silo. I like to say that business owners are in three camps when it comes to social media. There are the people who refuse to use social media because they don't see how to monetize it. They don't see the value in it. And so they're just sort of really anti. Then there's the group that consistently uses social media. You can see those, you probably know some of those folks. They post 7 or 8 times a day, and it's all about buy this from me, buy that from me, I'm doing this, purchase, purchase, purchase from me. They're the constant promoters. They over promote themselves on social media. And then there's the third group of business owners who they understand that social media is a powerful tool, but they're not sure how to leverage it in a way that makes sense for their business. But we're going to talk about how we can do that. But before we get there, I want to say that social media cannot operate on its own. So when we talk about owned media, we're basically primarily talking about your email list. We're talking about your website. We're talking about the things that you directly control. And that your social media platforms has to work in concert with your events that you do, of course, with your website, with your email marketing, with any direct mail campaign, with anything that you're doing, so that all of these efforts can be seamless and integrated. And so that when these visitors or these strangers, maybe they end up on your email list. If they end up on your email list, they're going to get the same message, the same feel, the same quality that they would if they ended up on your Pinterest page. So we've got to get it into our minds that social media can't operate on its own. It can't be by itself. It has to be integrated with this overall picture and the overall flow of all of your marketing efforts. So I want to talk more about the content process. The first thing you do is to develop the content, right? I've told you about that. Then we publish the content. You publish that content on your website. This could be a coupon, it could be an invitation, it could be anything great or compelling that you think your target audience will love. Then we broadcast that this content is published on your website through our social media channels, because we know that social media is a discovery tool so that strangers can discover you so that they become customers later on. Once they discover you through social media, we lead them back to your owned media. Once they get to your website, we want to be able to collect contact information from them. Once you collect that contact information, it's your job to follow up. to nurture them through whatever sales process you have. And then it's your job to make the sale. So let's break down these 12 steps of how we turn a like into a lead. So step one is a pretty simple step, and that is to know your niche. And what that means is just to zero in on the services and products that you offer. Only offer the services and products that you love and the ones that you do well. And what I'd like for you to do is to develop your entire business model around those specific services. Okay? So that's pretty simple. Step two is to know your customer. Every business has a very specific type of customer. So what I'd love for you to be able to do to really, really make this work is to learn your customer and whatever issues they have inside and out. What you'll need to do is to determine how your services or products solve their issues. And you'll need to be able to pinpoint a very specific type of customer and solve a very specific type of problem for them. So step three is to do just that. Solve your customer's problem. And what I mean is to use your business model that we talked about in step one to develop a special offering that will be attractive to your ideal customer. You want to develop an offering that your ideal customer can't resist. So if I use myself as an example, I might write a book for business owners to talk about marketing and brand development, because I know that small businesses need that support. And so my offering then is to help them solve their marketing challenges in simple steps. That's the name of my book. Solve your marketing issues in simple steps. So that wouldn't be a good name for a book. It's not that appealing, but you get the idea. So I'm going to develop this special offering that I know my audience is going to love. And step four is so I'm going to develop that offering, and I'm just going to sit that offering on the shelf. Then the next step, in step four, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create and curate content that's meaningful to my audience and that relates to my offering. So in other words, if I've written this great book about marketing and overcoming the obstacles of marketing in 5 simple steps or whatever it is, I'm going to write blogs and I'm going to do videos and take pictures and do anything that not necessarily give what's is in my offering. I'm not going to give that content away, but I'm going to give away content that's related to that. So I might talk about social media, or I might talk about how to name your organization, or I might talk about different pricing strategies or sales strategies or different marketing strategies. I'm going to develop content that I know for sure is going to help my target audience. The next thing I'm going to do is what I keep saying over and over again is I'm going to publish that high value, that content that's irresistible to my target audience. I'm going to place that on a landing page on my website. I'm going to put it on, if it's a blog, I'm going to put it on Blogger, or, I'm going to, upload it to my blog page. If it's a series of videos, I'm going to put it on my video page. If it's a coupon or an event invitation, no matter what it is, I'm going to find a home for it on an interior page of my website. Okay. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take that link and I'm going to broadcast to everybody in the world that I have this high value blog or video series or coupon or open house invitation, whatever it is. I'm going to broadcast it on Facebook. I'm going to broadcast it on Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. I'm going to make it show up everywhere that I know my target audience frequents. Okay. After I make it show up on Facebook or maybe on Pinterest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multicast that content. That's step number 7, is to multicast it. And what multicasting is is multicasting allows you to distribute one piece of content through multiple channels. Multicasting can be done in multiple ways. Obviously, it's a live cast, which is this is a live cast right now, what we're participating in. If I recorded this and uploaded the audio, it would be a podcast or an audio cast. If I tweeted out all of these steps, that would be a social cast. If I presented this to you via text message, it would be a mobile cast. If I took all of this information and put it into a book, that would be a book cast. I could summarize this and put it into a picture quote and share it on Instagram. I could send this information out via email. I could send it out via my blog. And what multicasting allows you to do is reach more of your target audience. So it's not like you're this genius and people are going to see that you're everywhere. You're on Pinterest, you're on LinkedIn, you're everywhere your target audience is. They see you all the time. You haven't done anything new. You've just taken the same information, chopped it up in different ways, and found a unique way to share it wherever they are. So if it's on Facebook, it's presented in one way. Maybe it's just the link to the where it's located on your website, or maybe that's what you do on LinkedIn and Facebook. But on Pinterest, you have a picture and a link. And on Instagram, you just have a picture. Maybe you say link in bio. If you text people, maybe you do something different in text. It's just taking that same content and repurposing it for the various platforms. So by distributing that high quality content on social media through your multicasting efforts, like I said, the opportunity to reach more people is tremendous. So since that carrot that you're dangling, read the content. Since that carrot that you've dangled is only accessible on your website, you are driving traffic now back to your own media. So you've created this content that you know is irresistible. You've published it on your website. You've broadcast through all these channels that you have this specific content on your website. Now you're getting traffic to your website. What happens when you do that is that people get, not only do they get that one nugget of information that you've decided to share for that particular day, they also have an opportunity to explore your website so that they can learn more about you and learn more about your business and, of course, access that valuable content. But in exchange for getting this great content from you that's been broadcasted all over social media, those potential customers, those visitors must provide their contact details, whether that's an email and their name, or their name, email, and telephone number, or their address, or all of it. They have to provide you with something in order for them to get this valuable information that you're going to share. And do you know what happens when you do that, when you've done all that and you get somebody to share their contact details with you? Boom, you just turned a like into a lead. That means you have a warm body that is willing and interested in the content and the value that you're sharing. Now it's up to you to nurture them so that you can build a relationship so that they purchase something from you. So we can't just stop there. So now you've got the sales lead. Now what? You have to contact your audience people. You have to say hello to them. So use those emails, use those phone numbers, that physical mailing address, those whatever it is that you've collected on your website to follow up with them on a scheduled basis. Really aggressive marketers say follow up every 2 days. Some people say every week. Some people say maybe every other week. Some folks every month. You can decide how often you want to follow up, but follow up on a regular basis. In my business, I follow up with people about once per month. If I'm launching a huge campaign, once per week. And if I'm launching a huge campaign, I might follow up a little bit more frequent than that, maybe every 3 to 4 days. It just depends on what it is, but you can test that out. So after you collect that contact information, say hello, follow up, but don't say, you know, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. Give them more value when you're following up. Maybe it's more coupons. Maybe it's showing them what you have in your retail store. Maybe it's a matter of you educating them on the process. Maybe it's a matter of you telling them what type of ingredients you have, that, you know, what makes your products or your, you know, edibles so special. But give them more information that will entice them. Okay? Then after you do that is step 9. And that is to introduce your offering. So it's like offering, meet potential customer. Potential customer, meet my valuable offering. So what you want to do is after you followed up with them a sufficient amount of times, you want to say, hey, listen, I know you've been hanging out with me for a few weeks. I am happy to share this information with you, but I'd like for you to tell you about my new book. And maybe you tell them about your new book and maybe you get a sale. Maybe you have to follow up with them a few more times to actually solidify that deal. But tell them about your offering. Tell them everything there is to know and love about your offering. And then again, it's the same schedule. Follow up. And you can decide every 2 days, every week, you know, every other week, but follow up with them so that you can tell your potential customer why it is that they need what you're offering. And most especially, tell them exactly how they're going to benefit from it. So you got to use all of your content, all of the interactions on social media, all of your interactions via email and or text to tell them why you're phenomenal and why they should buy from you. But follow up with it after you get their contact information on a regular schedule. Then the next thing for you to do is to close the sale. If you've got to hop on the phone with these people, hop on the phone. Or if you've got to do a 15-minute webinar, then do that, or a group call. But close the sale, okay? And if you are dangling your content to the right audience, you don't have to worry about chasing your customers. You don't have to worry about overselling them or being like this sleazy salesperson. You don't have to chase them. They will follow up with you. If you're giving the right information to the right people, it will be a natural fit. And that is the process. Well, there's one more step. And that is really just to deliver on the goods. So you've become their hero. Give them what they paid for and then some. This is your time to shine. You've got to treat these new clients that you got from social media like royalty. You've got to use that offering to be their hero and to solve their problem that you identified, and just deliver on what you've offered there. And what they're going to do in turn is to promote you, is to say, oh my gosh, I worked with Ashley and she was phenomenal, or I worked with Suzanne and she did a wonderful job, or Michelle's oils were the absolute best. So be their hero. And really solve their problems. And so you can start that process all over again, but that is really the 12-step process to turn a like into a lead. And it's really, really content specific. And it's about the smart publishing of your content on social media. And I would love to take questions right now. Does anybody have any questions? I believe you can ask questions on the left-hand side. There should be something that says Q&A. Does anybody have any questions? On the group chat, you can do the group chat. It's a blue box. No questions. Good. I'm so sorry that we couldn't get the PowerPoint to work. That is like beyond me. I don't understand what happened there. But I will publish it on SlideShare, and I will send all of you a link to it, and I'll send you a link to this video so you can, watch the video with the SlideShare to kind of match up what I've been talking about. But I also wanted to share with you some additional opportunities to follow up with me or to connect with me. If what I've said to you made some sense just listening, I'd love for you to schedule a free consultation. And you can go to denorbrands.com, and in the middle of the page, there is something that says, let's work together. And you can click that link and you can schedule an appointment with me on your own time. There's a calendar with all of my open slots, and availability is right on the home page. But you can schedule a session with me, and everybody gets 40 minutes free. We can talk about whatever your challenges or your issues are. So we can certainly do that. Then the next way that we can kind of connect is through a book. I mentioned earlier, I said something about a book, but there is a book that I helped contribute to, and it's called Boss Living, a practical guide to starting your sustainable small business. And I would love it if you guys would check that out. I'll send you the link to that as well. And I'll do this right after we wrap, so you'll have it readily available. And then in 2 weeks, I am teaching a class just like this one, and it'll be called 6 Steps to Marketing Genius. I'll send you the link to that. And 6 Steps to Marketing Genius is just like 6 proven strategies that I use with my clients in my business to help grow their visibility and grow their bottom line. So I'm going to share with some really, really great strategies and tips for that. And again, I'm going to send you the link for it. I would share my screen with you, but when I tried to do that before, it was a complete disaster. So I'm not going to do that again. And then the last way is that this year I'm hosting something that's new and different, and it's called Dream It, Live It, Vision Your Way to Success in 2016. And what this is it's a vision board party on steroids, and it's all about figuring out what your plan of action is going to be for 2016. And what we're going to do is we're going to get together, we're going to have food, we're going to have drink, and it's going to be live in person in Nashville. And we're going to talk about what your vision for your business is, what your vision for your life is. And we're going to create a traditional vision board and share that. And then we're going to sit down and go through one of the guides I've created, the Success Planning Guide. And we're going to map out your plan of action for 2016. We're going to figure out what steps you need to take to move your business to the next level. Cha Jones is letting me know that there is no Q&A button. Cha, you should be able to, on the top left, is there a blue box that looks like a chat box? Can you click that? If you can't, Cha, I know you have my phone number. Text me your question and I'll answer it. You can text it to me because you know me. That's great. But on that Dream It, Live It, it's just going to be a really fun time, and I hope to see you all there. I'll send you a link to that also. I am so sorry for these technical difficulties. I've never had this before. This is my first time hosting a G-Chat. So I hope you guys have gotten some good information despite the technical glitches and despite what has happened. And I hope to see you next week.